The Dodgers had a 4-run lead, then they watched it disappear. Colorado fought all the way back, tied the game, and suddenly Los Angeles was facing extra innings in a game that looked almost completely under control just a few hours earlier. But the Dodgers refused to let another close game slip away. In the 10th inning they finally broke through with 2 crucial runs, and escaped with a 6-4 victory. It was their 3rd straight win. But according to reports surrounding the game, the drama may not have ended when the final out was recorded. There were also reports of tension between the two teams after the game, with the situation allegedly involving players near the Dodgers dugout. So how did the Dodgers turn a blown 4-run advantage into another important victory, and what reportedly happened after the final out? Let's break it all down. And if you enjoy Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani coverage, make sure you subscribe to Baseball Pulse and turn on notifications because the season is entering a critical stage. The Dodgers entered the game looking for another victory against Colorado. After winning the previous 2 games, Los Angeles had already created momentum, but this matchup quickly became another test. The Dodgers had to deal with Colorado's starting pitcher Kyle Freeland, while Roki Sasaki took the mound for Los Angeles. And early on, the Dodgers offense wasted little time creating pressure. In the 2nd inning, Mookie Betts and Kyle Tucker produced consecutive hits. Suddenly Los Angeles had runners at the corners with 2 outs. That was the kind of opportunity the Dodgers needed, and they took advantage. Kiké Hernández stepped into the box and delivered an RBI single to center field. The Dodgers had the first run, 1-0. It wasn't a huge inning, but it gave Los Angeles exactly what it wanted, an early lead and pressure on Colorado. Then came the 4th inning, and this is where the game appeared to completely change. Betts opened the inning with a solo home run. Just like that, the Dodgers were up 2-0, but they weren't finished. Kyle Tucker followed with another important hit, driving in another run. Then Hernandez came through again. This time he launched a solo home run of his own. 3 runs in the inning, a 4-run Dodgers lead. At that moment everything looked perfect for Los Angeles. The offense was clicking. The starting pitcher was still working, and Colorado appeared to be running out of answers. But baseball can change incredibly quickly, and Colorado had no intention of going quietly. In the bottom of the 4th, Sasaki found himself facing a dangerous situation. Runners were on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Colorado needed one big play to get back into the game. Then a ball was hit toward left field. The play became complicated, and the Dodgers were unable to make the defensive play. 2 Rockies runners came home. Suddenly the Dodgers' 4-run advantage had been cut in half, 4-2. That changed the feeling of the game immediately. Instead of cruising toward a comfortable victory, Los Angeles now had to protect a 2-run lead. Sasaki, however, stayed composed. He continued pitching and worked through the 5th inning. By the time his night was finished, he had thrown 99 pitches. He allowed 7 hits and 1 walk, while giving up 2 runs and recording 6 strikeouts. It wasn't a perfect performance, but it was good enough to give the Dodgers a chance to win. And that became increasingly important because the game was about to turn into a bullpen battle. Los Angeles went to its relievers in the 6th. For a moment everything looked stable. Brock Stewart delivered a clean inning. The Dodgers still had their 2-run advantage, but Colorado kept waiting for another opportunity. And in the 7th, it arrived. With 2 outs and a runner on first, the Rockies connected on a 2-run home run. Just like that, the 4-run Dodgers lead was gone, 4-4. The game had been completely reset. This was now anyone's game. The Dodgers had scored 4 runs, Colorado had answered with 4. And from that point forward, both teams had to find a way to survive. The pressure became enormous. Every pitch carried more importance. Every base runner represented a potential winning run, and every defensive mistake could decide the entire game. For the Dodgers, this was another opportunity to prove that they could win the kind of close game that becomes common during the postseason. But regulation ended with the score still tied, 4-4, extra innings. And that's when the Dodgers finally found the breakthrough they had been searching for. In the 10th inning, Teoscar Hernandez came through with a crucial hit. The Dodgers had runners on first and second with nobody out. Now the winning run was standing just 90 feet away from home. Freddie Freeman stepped up. Instead of trying to do too much, he delivered exactly what the situation required. A sacrifice fly. The Dodgers were back in front, 5-4, but they still needed insurance. Because after watching a 4-run lead disappear, nobody in the Dodgers dugout wanted to enter the bottom of the 10th with only 1 run separating the teams. Then Mookie Betts stepped up again, and once again he delivered. An RBI hit brought home another run, 6-4. That second run could have been the difference between another chaotic finish and a much more manageable situation. Now the Dodgers had breathing room. 2 runs, 3 outs, 1 more chance for Colorado. The Rockies stepped into the bottom of the 10th knowing that another comeback would keep the game alive. But this time, the Dodgers bullpen held firm. The final outs were recorded, and Los Angeles escaped, 6-4. 3 straight wins, another series victory, and another game in which the Dodgers had to fight until the very end. But according to reports surrounding the game, the story did not necessarily stop with the final out. There were reports of tension involving players from both teams near the Dodgers dugout after the game. The alleged confrontation reportedly centered around frustration over the game and officiating decisions. However, it is important to separate confirmed game events from unverified claims about what individual players said or did during any post-game exchange. Disagreements between teams are nothing new in baseball, especially after a tense extra-inning game, but when players from opposing teams approach each other's dugouts, emotions can escalate quickly. That is why any reported confrontation would be something MLB would need to review carefully before conclusions are made about responsibility or possible discipline. For the Dodgers, the priority would be obvious: avoid unnecessary distractions, and keep the focus on baseball. That is especially important when one of the players involved in the broader attention is Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani started the game at designated hitter and led off, but unlike his explosive performances earlier in the series, he finished without a hit in 4 at-bats. And that actually made this victory more encouraging. Why? Because the Dodgers won without needing Ohtani to carry the offense. Betts produced, Tucker produced, Hernández produced, Freeman delivered when it mattered most. That is exactly what the Dodgers need. Ohtani is one of the most dangerous players in baseball, but no team can realistically expect one player to provide every important hit. The best Dodgers teams are the ones where multiple players can change a game, and this victory was a perfect example. Betts didn't just contribute early, he also delivered the insurance run in extra innings. Hernández helped create the early lead and later came through again. Tucker repeatedly created opportunities, Freeman produced the go-ahead sacrifice fly, and the pitching staff, despite giving up a 4-run advantage, eventually found a way to finish the game. That is why this victory could carry more value than the final score suggests. The Dodgers didn't dominate, they didn't protect every lead, they didn't have their biggest star producing at the plate, and their bullpen was tested, yet they still won. That's the kind of resilience teams need when the postseason arrives. Because October baseball is rarely perfect. There will be games where a starter isn't dominant. There will be games where a 4-run lead suddenly disappears. There will be games where the biggest star goes hitless. And there will be games where the entire season seems to come down to 1 or 2 innings. The Dodgers just experienced another version of that, and they survived. The 6-4 victory gave Los Angeles its 3rd straight win and another important boost as the regular season moves toward its decisive stretch. More importantly, the Dodgers are showing signs that they can win in different ways. They can win with power, they can win with timely hitting, they can win through their stars, and now they are showing they can also win through depth and late-game execution. That could become extremely valuable later, because if the Dodgers want to make a deep postseason run, they cannot depend on perfect performances every night. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Baseball Pulse, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani updates. And tell us in the comments, do you think these close victories are a sign that the Dodgers are finally finding their postseason form?